So I just finished day 2, full day, 14-hour day of the Joe Dispenza week-long retreat in Dallas, Texas. If you don't already know about Joe Dispenza and don't know why you should care, after tolerating being called a pseudoscientist for a good long time, he now is building a very impressive body of scientific research that's proving that you can change your body by thought alone. And this includes documented cases of curing metastasized cancer that has metastasized to the bone, cerebral palsy, MS, PTSD, blindness, deafness. The list goes on. So basically, he is proving that through the process of meditation, we are capable of touching a higher level of intelligence, a higher level of organized intelligence, call it source. And that has the potential to rearrange our biology. So through the practice of meditation, through the practice of thought alone, we can change our biology. So as you can imagine, this has some pretty radical implications, because it means that actually you can cure yourself better through thought, through meditation, than through any medical intervention, including pharmaceuticals. So obviously it's not going to apply to something like a broken bone. But when it comes to things like genetic disorders, psychological disorders, cancer, some genetic disorders, potentially all genetic disorders. I mean, no one knows where the line is going to be redrawn, if at all. His tagline, of course, is that we are unlimited. But what this means for not only for medical science, for treatment, but in a broader sense for our own empowerment, for the reality of our nature as creators, as manifestors, that we have this incredible potential to change matter through the power of thought. And that, of course, changes everything we've ever been taught about causality, right? It really points beyond linear causality to something much, much more powerful. And it tells us that we have much more control over our lives than we've been taught by any institution that we've been raised within. In terms of my experience of the workshop itself, I would say that yesterday and a good chunk of today were actually really tough. One of the things you're doing when you're meditating is you're really coming in direct confrontation with yourself. So you're really coming up against everything that we run from inside. So all the unhealed parts, all the limiting beliefs, all the painful self-states, the shame, the guilt, the fear, for some, the anger, whatever has been unhealed is unresolved. You're right up against that when you meditate. And so I was finding that difficult, and I was also finding it difficult to meditate with 1,991 other people. It's pretty intense. And one of the things that he has measured with EEGs and other devices, that there are massive, very, very high amplitudes of energies that are moving through particularly the heart and the brain. So he has measured, I think, levels of energy in the brain that are in the magnitude of 10,000 higher than normal. So what's happening is that this is sort of happening to people in the room. So you're hearing people go into what sounds like a seizure, a convulsion. You're hearing people burst into tears. You're hearing people scream. It's pretty intense. And what happened tonight was we did a meditation essentially going further and further into the field. So all of his teachings are based in quantum physics. He does not, although what he's talking about is profoundly spiritual, the language he uses is not spiritual. He's using, he says that science is a contemporary language of mysticism, and it sort of brings people together, whereas the language of religion, of course, can be very divisive. So we were doing a meditation where we were getting closer and closer to source. So moving into that field of nothing, where you have to exit yourself as you have known yourself to be, and coming into closer and closer contact with source. It was such a profound experience for me. To encounter and be changed by a field of pure love, because that's what that intelligence is. And I don't even know how to explain what happened. I really don't feel like words are adequate. I was convulsing for part of it. There was a massive wave of energy moving up my spine, especially between my heart and my brain. And there was a profound clarity about why I'm here and what I'm supposed to be doing, there's a profound clarity that the only thing that is ever wrong in this world is perceived separation from love. And that is not an emotional or a moral truth. That is a physical, metaphysical truth. That is the truth of quantum physics, is that we are all connected. We are all in connection to source, and it is only our separation, our perceived separation, that leads to suffering, that leads to violence of all kinds, internal and external. One of the things that blew me away was near the end, a few people started laughing, and then I would say maybe 80% of this room of 1,900 people were laughing. And what I felt was, we are less and less separate. We are more and more this emergent, unified consciousness, and there's that illusion of separation, that somehow we are defined by this 3D reality, or these physical bodies, is falling away. So just as a virus can be contagious, love, these elevated states of emotion can be contagious, because we are interconnected. And it's one thing to sort of know that intellectually, it's another thing to be in the room and feel it move through your body. So I share this because I want to share the power of meditation. Whether Joe appeals to you or not, I think his research is so compelling that most of us should have a look at it, especially if we are or know anyone who is suffering from any kind of physical or mental illness. But also to empower you to know that you are so much more powerful than you have ever been taught by anyone, by any institution you've been a part of. Your thoughts shape reality. This is not conjecture, but it's not only your thoughts, it's also your physiological state. So we can do the affirmations, we can do the statements that try to bring us abundance, but if your physiological state is not in alignment, if your heart is not in alignment, if your gut is not in alignment with those statements, then you're not moving closer to that higher form of intelligence. So yeah, I just want to affirm the power that each of us has. I want that knowledge to spread as far and as wide as it can spread. If you haven't seen the documentary Source, go watch it. There's more research. They presented some this afternoon. There's more that's coming out about immunity, about changes in gene expression, about changes in blood proteins, and this is over the course of 7 days. The people on these retreats, and they've now done multiple studies with 1,000 people, are leaving with changed biology over the course of 7 days, and some people with spontaneous remission from diseases like stage 4 cancer and cerebral palsy. So if that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will, but there's so much here to be excited about. There's so much here to be hopeful about, and the repercussions for humanity are huge, right? Because the closer we get to that intelligence, the more we are formed by it, the more we become it, the more we become conduits for it. And that is the contagion, that's the virus that we need to be spreading.